And now let's work on the layout for week number 4. I did skip week number 3. I will present that one last because it's going to be a surprise. But week number 4 is going to be a head nod towards But week number 4 is going to be a head nod towards Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is another December observance, and I want to give a head nod to those who observe it as well. I'll be using the magic of Christmas. And so I pulled out what was remaining from layout number 1 of the red. The back of this beautiful paper here. Some of the green and the gold from the magic of Christmas. I'm going to be putting it all on black cardstock. And I'm going to be using a recipe template. The Candlelit Flame Recipe Template. Now, this recipe template came out as a special, I believe a Black Friday special of 2023. And because of its limited edition, I believe that there may be some advisors who have some in their inventory. It also came out with this punch called Flames and Drops. And boy, if there was ever a punch that deserved more love, this is it. This Flames and Drops is exactly what it is. So if this punch works for summertime water punches, and it goes, of course, as a fit for the candles in this recipe template. And so I'm going to use the candle part of the recipe template, and I'm going to take some inspiration from the top of this design, but I'm not going to try to make the recipe template as an exact replica. So this candlelit flame. Now note, if you don't have the candlelit flame, you could still make a similar layout, and you could use scraps for this. So I'm going to pull out the template and explain how I'm going to go about using it. My plan is to not cut every last one of these candles, but I want a good representation of the candles used in Kwanzaa observances. I'm not going to do an exact replica of a kinara, which is the name for the holder of the candles, but I am going to do a representation. And a kinara holds 7 candles, 3 of which are red, 3 of which are green, and 1 in the center is black. So I'm going to replicate those candles as part of the decoration for this page. I also intend to replicate the kinara on the left and the right pages. So I'll need 3 red candles each on the left and right, and 3 green candles each on the left and right, and then 1 black candle each for the left and the right pages. I have several choices. I could pick, say, 1 candle and repeat it over and over again, or I can have some variety. And so I think what I want to do is I think I want this one, and this one to be my 3 candles. And I'm just going to trace them, and then after I've traced them, I'm going to cut them out and erase my pencil lines. So I need 2 of each candle, and so that's what I'm going to cut. You know, 2 of those. I want 2 of this one, but I'm not going to put the stripes in it. I'm going to just make a candle. It would be cute, but I'm too lazy. For the center candle, I'm going to use black molten lava because it will stand out on the black paper against the black background. And now I will cut. Now, a lot of scrapbookers may not like to fussy cut, but if you don't mind fussy cutting, it does open up some new creative directions for scrapbooking or card making or anything else. Now, I do want to erase the pencil lines, white eraser. Okay, after I got my pieces down, I decided I really wanted to ink my edges. And I thought of using the Cocoa Memento ink that Creative Memories came out with, but I really decided that I wanted black ink. So I dug around and found an old close to my heart. It's called Archival Black. And I honestly thought it was dried up, but there is enough ink on here. I'm using a makeup sponge. And I'm just going to rub this makeup sponge in this Archival Black ink to give my candles a little bit of an outline. I'll even do the bottom. And I'm really liking that. If you can see the difference of what it looks like with ink and without ink, it really helps it to pop. So I'm going to ink all of these. So I'm going to ink all of my pieces using the makeup sponge. And so while Creative Memories is going to be coming out with a black, they haven't opened it up for customers yet. Other than unless you bought the Black Friday special, which by the time it came out, let's be honest, this girl was had spent all of her budget, so she wasn't buying any more Black Friday specials. And I may have an archival black re-inker from close to my heart. Obviously, it's a sad loss that we experienced with close to my heart this year. So I like to ink a lot. I'm really thrilled to see Creative Memories coming out with products that helps us to add a little more pizzazz, if you will, to our layouts, to give us a different look. Um, the company, in my opinion, is staying true to its original style and design, but is open to other designs and styles, which I think is fantastic. I also think they're addressing a matter that probably, I think, attributed to the company having its, I call, difficult years. I note when playing and using with inks, always have a tissue handy. You do run the risk of staining accidentally other parts of your project in a way you may not want to. So the first thing I always do before I even get started is to bring a tissue, and depending on what you're going to be doing, maybe two, one wet and one dry. And I recommend when you are finished, like when I'm finished with this, I'm going to stop and wash my hands. And there we go. Very happy. Makeup sponge and some black ink. Wipe my hands. I'm going to actually go and wash my hands while I put this away. Okay, we have moved our candles over to their background, and I'm liking how this turned out. I think the decision to put some inking around them was a good decision. Now, I love the black molten lava candle. I should have made it taller because I believe the tradition is that the center candle is the taller. I can just raise it up. I'm not going to worry about that too much. The Flames and Drops decorative punch came with the Candlelit Recipe Template. It was a Black Friday special. If you would like to see this punch return, I recommend that you send an email to cmproductsuggestion@creativememories.com. I originally was going to go to the golden molten lava paper, but then I remembered on layout number 1, we used the gold shimmer paper that came with the Magic of Christmas collection. So I think that I'd rather use that than cut into, oh, isn't that gorgeous? So using that punch really sped up this process. I love it. And those flames, so they're flames here. They can be water droplets on another layout. That's a great punch. I would strongly encourage you to write to Creative Memories, email them, and request that they bring back this punch. So next I'm taking this gold piece from the Magic of Christmas, and I'm going to cut it 6 inches by 12 inches. So I'm cutting it in half. And so I want to cut off a little bit of this to be a fish tail. You know, fish tails go like this. Dovetails go in like that. Anyway, so when I want to make an extra large fishtail, you know, sometimes they tell you, oh, fold over the paper and cut. And actually, I guess I can do that with this. I have both pieces of paper together because I don't want one side cut way in and the other side partially cut in. So I don't want a deep, deep, deep cut. And is my blade long enough? Nope. So I'm going to go get a different pair of scissors. Hold on. Okay, I went and got a pair of longer blade scissors because I really want this done in one single stroke. I don't want to have to do that. I just want one snip, and I want the blade to be long enough to handle it. I believe this one will be. I don't want it to be too far up. About an inch, half inch to 1 inch is more than enough. Try my best to get that corner. If you don't get the corner, err on the side of going up a little bit. And cut. And I didn't make it in one thing, but I did get a smooth. It is smooth. And that is just what I wanted. Okay. Now that I have my banner tail, I want to now make this not 12 inches, but 11.5 inches. So I'm going to cut half an inch off, 1/2 of an inch. And I have 2 banners to go across my layout like that. So we have an 11.5 inch banner on the left and on the right. So this layout for Kwanzaa is actually meant for the last few days of the month if I stick to a 7-day calendar. Now, usually I exclude the 24th and the 25th because they most years get their own dedicated layout for Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I'm going to go ahead and get the base of this made, and as with the other layouts, I'm going to put down the mat cards but not adhere them. So I'm going to start adhering my candles to the page, and the only thing that I want to try to make sure that I do, I'm going to first try to center the black candle and raise it up about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. And then from there, branch out left and right. And there's really no right or wrong way to do this. Okay. This is the final version so far of the base page for the last week of December, in which I am giving a head nod to Kwanzaa. I'm showing the candles of the kinara, and I'm using the Kwanzaa colors, which includes the red, the green, and the black, and the gold. I used the Candlelit template, and so while it's not an exact match, I think it was very inspired by this template, which is good enough for me anyway. And I did love making the candles. It was much simpler than I expected it to be. I took the tag that had this wreath on it and I fussy cut out the wreath. And it's so interesting that this background on the wreath matches the paper. And so, like, well, that was a happy accident. And so, the final week of December's ready. I've got 2 more to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. YouTube says about right here, you might want to watch this one too. So please continue watching.